Ladies and gentlemen, live from Kelvin University, it's The Tonight Show!
Hello, and welcome to The Tonight Show, the only show on YouTube that uses a different thumbnail style every week. You may notice that some things look a little different here. We got rid of the desk, we got rid of the laugh track, and we got rid of the old host. Unfortunately, Jack was let go due to this incriminating Facebook post. I'm joking. If you don't follow him on Facebook and haven't seen this image, Jack is actually on paternity leave, but we here still haven't forgiven him for wearing a Hope sweatshirt. While he's out, I'll be hosting The Tonight Show, which gives Jack time to take care of his new baby and his mustache. In this week's news, I'm told the Super Bowl happened this weekend. We should make a disclaimer, though, that not a single one of the writers on our staff actually watched it. All I can say is it's a good thing the Super Bowl was on a Sunday so the weekend could perform. Yeah. This is the part where I regret getting rid of the laugh track. Most people know that Tom Brady broke the record for an oldest player to win the Super Bowl, but there was a second record that a lot of people overlooked. The most people wearing masks in Florida. Closer to home, this weekend here in Michigan saw temperatures as low as 4 degrees, meaning we finally reached that time of year when Michigan drivers forget everything they know about using a car. If you're sitting inside and looking for some fun events, we here at The Tonight Show suggest you go watch people spin out at the Burton Street entrance to campus. In campus news, the university has become an official COVID vaccination site. This approval was streamlined as, due to the cold, campus doesn't need to be outfitted with medical-grade refrigerators. Instead, doses will be buried in the snow on Commons lawn. That's it for all the news here. We go now to an interview with Professor Karen Saupe after this.
Adrian, stop using me for your stupid show.
She is the chair of the English department and the head of the Rhetoric Across Campus curriculum program.
Rhetoric Across the Curriculum.
Right? Mm-hmm. Rhetoric Across the Curriculum program. Karen Saupe, welcome to The Tonight Show.
Thank you.
Yeah. You are the head of the English department, mm-hmm. but a lot of students know you from the work you do at the January series, interviewing people. How did you get into that initially?
Well, we used to have a TV show produced at Calvin called Intercompass that was an interview, kind of long-form interview show that ended up airing in about 60 cities across the country and so forth. So that was neat. And I was one of the hosts for that. And I taught DCM every year, and I loved that. But trying to do interviews, because we taped a lot of the Intercompass interviews during the January series because we had so many good guests that month.
Right.
Trying to do those interviews and teach a DCM class was pretty overwhelming. And so at the time, Ralph Hondard, who was the basketball coach, a kinesiology prof, he was teaching January series class, and I asked if I could teach it with him. So we did for a few years, and that was a lot of fun because we disagreed about almost everything. It was a blast.
Yeah.
And then he had retired, and eventually Calvin had a policy that they didn't want retirees or adjuncts teaching interims, and so so I took over the class and have had it ever since.
Yeah. So how do you kind of feel about the end of interim and do you think you're done with that class? Do you think you're going to try to incorporate?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm really sad about the end of interim. That's always been one of my favorite parts of the year. It's overwhelming. I mean, because it sort of eats you alive, and you go home and collapse on the last day and on weekends and everything. But I love being able to focus. The idea of interim is to focus on just one thing and really dig deep and explore. And I think the earliest interim classes, before they tended to become part of core requirements, they really were meant to be exploratory. And so the January series, so focusing on one topic and not having to juggle 5 different courses and subjects and what's due what day and everything, That's nice. Getting to know people in a sort of little more intimate situation by spending a lot of time with them, that's neat. The January series class contradicts that in a little bit because it's the same group of people and you're getting to know each other, but you've got a different topic and a different theme every day. And yet, even then, almost every year, some sort of theme would begin to emerge where we'd hear each speaker talking about the importance of storytelling or the importance of family or caring for one another or caring about the environment or being careful about technology.
Oh, cool.
And so it's just been fun to see that emerge. So next year, my understanding is the January series will continue, but spring term will have begun. And so I've been exploring and thinking a little bit about whether maybe it would be possible to have a short course, kind of a half semester or even 4-week module. There'll be some of those, or even maybe a 1 semester hour course. So I don't know, and I know, and I always admire students who just go to the thing because they want to go to the thing. I don't know how you carve out that time, but you should. And so I hope there'll be some way to gather students who want to really focus on that.
And even if you don't want to go to like all of them, you know, at least like there's such a vast variety of topics, like everyone has at least like one thing that they could enjoy.
Right. One of my favorite things about the series is often, I wouldn't go to every one if I weren't obligated to, but often the ones I least assume I'll care about turn out to really spark something in me. And it's fun. One of my students years ago wrote in the course evaluation, I said, "What did you learn that mattered to you?" And she wrote, "I learned that I do care about some things." I thought, that's actually a pretty great answer.
Yeah. In addition to working with or closely with the January series, you also run the Rhetoric Center here in the library.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Rhetoric Center?
I'd love to.
Who should be using the Rhetoric Center?
Everyone should be using the Rhetoric Center. I use it, seriously. The staff, so the staff is usually 10 to 12 students from all different majors. They all use it. In fact, the longer they work there, the more they use it. To kick around ideas, to test a draft, to work on just one paragraph that isn't fitting in, or the only paragraph that you can think of to write. And yes, to fine-tune the finished product or the masterpiece or whatever. But we have students from across the board, from all disciplines. We have students sometimes come in to work on developing their speeches or PowerPoint presentations or poster sessions for science or engineering classes. We do a little bit less of the visual and oral rhetoric than I wish we would, but it is a rhetoric center, not just a writing center. And I think it's great for struggling writers who just need some support, but I think the little-known secret is that it's also really good for good writers who take a lot of pride in their work. And so, I think everybody should use it as much as they can. And the people who do tend to really appreciate it. Obviously, they wouldn't come back if they didn't. But
or the people who wouldn't use it wouldn't appreciate it.
Well, that's it. And when we kind of survey students about why they do or don't use it, the most common reason for not using it is, I think I should, but I never start until too late in the game. So I don't know how to fix that, but it's. I hope people will check it out. And this year, because of the pandemic, we're offering online sessions and in-person sessions and drop-ins and appointments. And so, I think it's a user-friendly place. And we have Legos if people just need to come play with Legos. And
And who doesn't need to play with Legos?
Sometimes you just do.
It's a good, distraction from the writing for
my go-tos as a college student when I had a big paper to write, I needed Legos and my guitar.
Oh, yeah.
So,
There's also, you guys do Write Night, which is like one of the highlights of my semester.
In real life, Write Night, when you're allowed to have big crowds of people together in a space, as I hope we will, it's a blast. 5 hours of misery loves company time together. And we've done it online these past couple semesters, and usually very small turnout, but the people just want to be accountable, and they just want to know that somebody else is miserable too. For 5 hours one night.
Yeah, it kind of takes like the communal writing aspect of the Rhetoric Center and kind of just like expands it out for the evening. And so I can't imagine like, I participated last spring online, but like it was just not the same. I didn't feel the same like drive to keep working because
you can kind of
there wasn't like even just like a community of people sitting next to me that I could goof off of.
You can look around and see all these people who are miserable. My favorite thing, about a year and a half ago, a guy got a nosebleed. He was thinking so hard about a poem he was writing. It was talking to a friend. But yeah, we have, unlimited coffee and all kinds of bad snacks and raffle prizes every hour and stuff. So, and we've had 200 or 300 people sometimes at that event.
Yeah,
So I hope someday again.
It's one of my favorite things. Professor Saupe, thank you so much for coming in. This has been
my pleasure.
very
It's fun to talk.
You
Nice to
are
see
my favorite professor I've never had.
Aw, thank you. That might be the way to keep me as your favorite. Yeah.
Hi there. I just got an idea how to make
The Tonight Show.
better than ever. Brand new
Host.
genius, if I do say so myself. Popping with new,
Episodes.
all with lots of
Guests.
plenty of.
Musical acts.
So while you're having fun
Watching The Tonight Show.
and laughing and grinning, we're in the kitchen making the best
Show.
in town.
The Tonight Show.
Better than ever. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And now a performance by Andrew Deters.
When my head leaves the pillow, I'm tired, but I must leave my bed. Eat some breakfast and take my medicine so I can feel okay. When my head hits the pillow, your voice finds me again. Please go, I need you to leave me so I can fall asleep. Good night. Good night. Good night. When my head leaves the pillow, I'm tired, but I must leave my bed. Eat some breakfast and take my medicine so I can feel okay. When my head hits the pillow, your voice finds me again. Please go, I need you to leave me so I can fall asleep. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
That's our show this week. Thank you to Professor Saupe and to Andrew both for spending some time with us. I'm trying to think, what else do I have to say while the credits are playing, Adrian? I can't let people know I unironically dab.
Okay.
You can put that line in, but just not the actual dab. Yeah. I think that's enough.